Tapos na ang Pasko pero ang panahong ito hindi raw masaya para sa lahat. Ang ilay nakararanas daw ng matinding kalungkutan. Nakausap po ng OMNI News si Devine Calanog, isang registered clinical counselor sa Mango Mental Health, para malaman kung ano nga ba ang mga pwedeng gawin para labanan ang holiday loneliness. Divine, why do you think people typically feel lonelier during this holiday season?
It's very normal and common to feel, particularly for people to feel particularly lonely during the holiday season. The holiday season can be a visual reminder that there's a lot of, it's a reminder of get together with friends, of togetherness, of joy. And sometimes it's really hard to feel that way when you're far away or maybe when you've lost someone this year and you don't have anyone to celebrate with. That contrast can really be difficult for a lot of folks. There's a lot of messaging, like we see it everywhere at the mall, even on coffee cups as well, that it's the holiday season. And the expectation of what the holidays should look like can be really difficult when our reality is very different as well.
Something that's typical with Filipinos is, a lot of us have family back home and we're not able to celebrate. I wonder, do you have any clients that you hear those kinds of stories from?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of the clientele that I have as well, especially with OFWs when they're kind of coming to Canada and they're working here and they're sending money back home. It can be really isolating for a lot of our foreign workers because our culture and our community is very much rooted in the kapwa and the togetherness. And so when we don't have that, especially highlighted in the holiday season, that can be a really sad time for some folks.
What would you say are some of the signs of loneliness that typically come up around this time? How can we identify it?
Yeah, sometimes yung mga signs ng loneliness is yung withdrawal sa mga friends or sa mga activities na ginagawa natin, na na-enjoy natin dati, and then now we don't do it anymore. As well, another sign of loneliness is a change in mood. So sometimes feel natin is sad, and then next thing you know, we feel irritable as well, na parang hindi natin alam kung bakit tayo naging irritable. So that could be a part of it as well. Another sign could be just a feeling of numbness or no feeling at all. Sometimes we might feel like we're invisible, na hindi tayo importante. And then also, even some physical things like having difficulty with our sleep or appetite can really be a sign of loneliness too.
And for those who are experiencing this kind of loneliness, anong pwede nilang gawin to help cope with it?
I think we can underestimate the power of a routine and the power of our own well being. And so I think the first important step is making sure that we have good sleep hygiene, making sure that we're nourishing our bodies, that we're having our daily movement as well, because that can really contribute to an overall sense of wellness. When it comes to the feelings of loneliness themselves, I think taking time away from social media, kasi that expectation and that comparison can really be easy to do that when we have access to social media as well. And then also focusing on structuring our days with a sense of purpose, focusing on structuring our days, trying to find small joys. So whether that is cooking a small meal from home that reminds us of home, and also maybe keeping our space tidy, joining a community event. Sometimes if volunteering is a good option as well. If we don't have the time for volunteering, sometimes creating a box and adding some stuff to donate to a local food bank can really give people a sense of purpose, because it's important. The feeling of loneliness and the connection that we get can really be amplified when we start to give to others. We really feel like we're connected to others as well. Um, and yeah, I think sometimes loneliness can make us feel like we can't talk to anybody. Like we feel ashamed that we're lonely. We feel really vulnerable. And I think the simple acknowledgement and naming it and being honest with ourselves that we are lonely can really help us just break down a little bit of the shame and stigma with loneliness.
Why do you think that stigma kind of exists with loneliness? What is it about it that, we're ashamed to discuss and talk about?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think just given that it's such a vulnerable feeling, that it's almost like a social marker that I don't have anyone here. There must be something wrong with me if I don't have anyone here. But it might just be due to the circumstances. We might be coming to Canada to work. We might not have our community yet. We might have lost a couple of people. So there's a lot of things outside of control, or outside of our control, that can contribute to our loneliness. And then that stigma can really increase because our society and our community really highlights the sense of togetherness. And when we don't have that, then it makes us question if there's something wrong with us.
For those of us who notice people around us who are experiencing this kind of loneliness, what are some things that we can do to help them?
Sometimes a simple check in, whether that's a call or a text to your friend, just letting them know that hey, I'm thinking about you, can really foster that sense of connection and make people feel less invisible, because that's what can happen with loneliness. It makes us feel invisible and unimportant. And so when receiving a message like that, or when sending a message like that, that can really boost up people's sense of connectedness. If possible, extending invitations, whether that's a small gathering that you're having, or even just going out for a quick coffee with a friend or a colleague, that can be really helpful. And I think being aware of or languaging when we're inquiring about holiday plans. Not everyone is going to have a big celebration, so not assuming that everybody's going to have a big celebration or a big family here to celebrate with. And so just being mindful of how we ask these types of questions as well.
Maraming salamat, Divine.
Thanks, Keisha.